It isn't a choice, it's a chain. A single soul forged in the fires of a goddess's love and a demon's hatred is bound to an endless cycle. This is a story of a hero who isn't just born but is cursed in many ways to be reborn. Across thousands of years of Hyrule's history, across timelines split apart by fate, and worlds drowned by flood or consumed by twilight, one thing never changes. A boy in a green tunic who will always rise to face an overwhelming darkness. We call him the hero. But is that title a badge of honour, or is it a prisoner's brand? This isn't just some simple tale of good versus evil, repeating itself so we can get a new game. No, this is different. This is a cycle that is written into the very soul of Hyrule. Every single hero that we know to be Link is tied to an ancient, inescapable duty to save the kingdom. It's a burden that goes way beyond a single timeline, shaping not just the hero's destiny, but the fate of the entire world. But this duty isn't just some static thing. It's alive and it shifts and transforms with every generation, asking something totally different from each soul chosen to carry its weight. In episode 3 of Beyond the Timeline, we're going to explore how that duty changes with each hero, and in doing so, maybe, just maybe, we'll find the true missing link that connects the sprawling, epic saga. To really understand this chain, we have to understand how this all began. We have to go all the way back to Skyward Sword. In Skyward Sword we meet a Link whose destiny isn't yet set in stone. Yes, he is a knight in training, but he doesn't have this motivation of saving the world. There isn't something laid out for him. His story is quite personal. It's the desperate, all-consuming need to save Zelda, his childhood friend. He starts his journey not as a hero, but as a boy, driven by love for a friend. It's only through his trials that his personal quest blows up into what becomes the cycle when he faces off against the Demon King Demise. Now, Demise isn't just a bad guy. He's not just a villain at the end of a Marvel film. He's described as the source of all monsters, a primordial force of destruction. When this very first Link finally beats him, the Demon King doesn't just poof into thin air. With his last breath, he spits out a curse, a promise of eternal revenge. His words echo through all of time, setting the stage for every single game to come. My hate never perishes. It is born anew in a cycle with no end. I will rise again. Those like you, those who share the blood of the goddess and the spirit of the hero, they are eternally bound to this curse. An incarnation of my hatred shall ever follow your kind, dooming them to wander a blood-soaked sea of darkness for all time. This is the exact moment the hero's duty is set in stone. It's no longer a choice to be made, but a fate inherited. Demise's curse forever links 3 spiritual lines. His own hatred, which gets reborn again and again, the bloodline of the goddess Hylia, reborn as Zelda, and the spirit of the hero, which will always rise in a champion named Link. Don't you dare name yourself as the character. Imagine the canon, where you're running around, everyone's like, "Oh, Joe! Oh, go on and save Joe!" No, his name is Link. This curse means that whenever an incarnation of Demise's hatred threatens the world, a hero with an unbreakable spirit will show up to fight it. The first Link's personal duty to save his friend has become an eternal duty for everyone who comes after him. He fought for a friend, and in doing so, shackled every future hero for a war they never asked for. This isn't just a backstory, it's the foundational tragedy of the entire series. The duty begins as a pure act of heroism, and is immediately twisted into a perpetual binding curse. It's a cycle of sacrifice that keeps Hyrule alive, but it does so by condemning its greatest champion to a fight that can never truly be won. When writing this video, I was very much influenced by the perspective I gained from Major Link's series, A Hero's Purpose. It portrayed things in a way that I don't think I had probably given enough time to think about, so I just want to shout out that series. I want to shout out Major Link, because without that series I don't think this video exists. The spirit of the hero is a mantle. It's a title that has to be earned, but the call to wear it is rarely a gentle invitation. More often than not, it's a violent shove into a world of darkness and responsibility, and almost nobody embodies this reluctant heroism more tragically than the hero of time from Ocarina of Time. When we first meet this Link, he's just a young boy. He's an outcast in his own home. The boy without the fairy in the village of the Kokiri who never grow up. His life is already defined by being different. His duty is forced on him by a prophecy and the dying words of the great Deku Tree. He isn't fighting for some grand ideal. He's just following the instructions of a guardian he barely knew, on a quest that really he's too young to understand. The real weight of this duty crashes down on him when he draws the Master Sword. He's considered too young for the job, so he sleeps for 7 years, and when he wakes up, he's a man in a world that completely moved on without him. His childhood friends are sages, weighed down by the very evil that he accidentally helped set loose. His duty is one defined by loss and a deep painful sense of being out of place. He's a ghost in his own timeline, a hero whose victory feels more like a tragedy. In the end, he's sent back to his childhood, depending what branch we're on. But he's not the same boy. He carries the memories and scars of a war nobody else even remembers. We see this confirmed in Twilight Princess, where his lingering spirit, the hero Shade, shows up as a warrior filled with regret, teaching his skills to his descendant just so his life lessons aren't lost to time. His duty wasn't a glorious adventure, it was a soul-crushing burden that haunted him long after he was gone. Now let's contrast that with the hero from The Wind Waker. This Link lives on Outset Island and has zero connection to ancient prophecies or royal blood. To him, the legends of the Hero of Time are just that, legends. His world has pretty much forgotten that a hero is supposed to return. His call to adventure is sudden and it's deeply personal. His little sister Errol gets snatched by a giant bird. In many ways, this Link's duty doesn't feel connected to the others. At least not at first. It's the simple, powerful duty of being a big brother. The King of Red Lions even says that this kid has no connection to the legendary hero. He wasn't chosen by destiny, he was chosen by circumstance. He has to almost prove he's worthy of that title. His journey is all about personal growth. He's just a regular kid who rises to an impossible challenge out of sheer willpower. He earns a Triforce of Courage not because it's his birthright, but because he shows incredible bravery when the odds are stacked against him. Where the Hero Time's duty was a heavy cloak of destiny, the Hero of the Wind's duty is a sword he had to forge himself. This really shows the two sides of the curse. It can either pick a hero through prophecy, or it can lie dormant, waiting for any soul with enough courage to awaken it when things get bad enough. The duty is absolute, but the path to accepting it is completely different for each person. As Hyrule's timeline splinters and stretches over thousands of years, the nature of the hero's duty does too. It adapts to the problems of each era, proving that saving Hyrule isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of job. Take a look at Link from Twilight Princess. He starts out as a simple ranch hand in a quiet, isolated village. His first duty is to his community, to Ordon Village and its kids. He's a local protector, a guy whose world is small and whose responsibilities are real, tangible and ultimately relatable. But when darkness pours out of the Twilight Realm and swallows Hyrule, his duty expands. It turns into a quest to save not just his village, but the entire kingdom from being erased by a shadowy existence. His whole journey is about bringing two halves together, light and shadow, are two sides of the same coin, and he has to master both his Hylian form and his sacred wolf form to win. This Link's duty is about balance. He's not just fighting an enemy, he's building a bridge between two different worlds. His heroism is tied to tradition and filling a role in the established order, a duty that grows from a sense of community pride into a kingdom-wide mission. Now let's jump way ahead to the very end of the timelines, to Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. Here we find what I feel is the most unique and kind of the most crushing form of the hero's duty, and that's the duty of redemption. Because this Link isn't an up-and-coming hero, he is a failed one. He was the princess's appointed knight, the chosen wielder of the Master Sword, and he lost. The calamity destroyed Hyrule, and he was put into a healing sleep for 100 years while the kingdom fell to ruin. And when he wakes up, he has amnesia. His duty just isn't to beat Ganon. He has to figure out who he even was and what happened. He's burdened by a past failure that none of the other Links have to deal with. Every memory he gets back is just a painful reminder of his defeat and the friends that he lost. His duty isn't about fulfilling a prophecy, it's about making up for one that he failed to see through. Zelda's diary entries show us a Link who felt so much pressure that he just stopped talking to bear the weight of everyone's expectations. This is a hero defined not by his destiny, by his history. In Tears of the Kingdom, that duty actually evolves. It becomes a mission to restore Hyrule, to literally piece the kingdom back together. His duty is one of reconstruction and hope, of trying to build something new from the ruins of the past. It's a long way from a boy saving his sister or a kid fulfilling a prophecy. It's the impossible task of reclaiming a lost world and atoning for a century-old failure. The hero's duty isn't a burden he carries alone. The entire kingdom of Hyrule is shackled to the exact same cycle of violence and salvation. This eternal conflict between Link, Zelda and Ganon is the engine of Hyrule's history, deciding its periods of peace and its repeated falls into chaos. The kingdom's very landscape and culture are proof of this endless war. Just think about the world of the Wind Waker. The Great Sea only exists because the gods, seeing that no hero showed up to stop Ganondorf in that timeline, decided to flood the entire world as a last resort. The Old Kingdom was drowned, its civilization wiped out, all because the cycle was broken. Fulfilling the duty is so important that when it doesn't happen, the result is total annihilation. In Ocarina of Time, we see the direct impact of the hero's journey on the land itself. When Link is sealed away for 7 years, Castle Town is burnt to the ground, Death Mountain is crawling with monsters, and Zora's domain is frozen solid. The kingdom physically rots in the hero's absence. So the duty isn't just to beat a bad guy, but to act as the land's immune system, fighting off an infection that will otherwise consume everything. But maybe no game shows us that kingdom-wide burden more clearly than Breath of the Wild. Here we see a Hyrule that is well and truly lost. It's a post-apocalyptic landscape, beautiful in its own sad way, but haunted by the ghosts of failure. The ruins of castles and towns, they aren't just scenery, they're scars. The Guardians, once built to protect people, are now the game's scariest enemies. The very faith of the people has been pushed to its absolute limit. The citizens of this Hyrule are survivors, living in the shadow of 100 years of devastation. The world shows us the ultimate cost of the cycle. It proves that victory is never a sure thing, that the hero's duty is a desperate gamble with the kingdom's very existence on the line. The cursed demise spat out wasn't just on the blood of the goddess and the spirit of the hero, it was on the land of Hyrule itself. As long as they exist on that land, the fight will continue. This endless struggle has shaped Hyrule's growth, its buildings, its legends, and the very mindset of its people. They live in a world where peace is always fragile, always temporary, just waiting for the darkness to inevitably return. The hero's duty then is also the kingdom's curse. Link may be the one who wields the sword, but all of Hyrule bears the wounds. For decades, fans have argued about the timeline, trying to piece together one coherent history from little clues scattered across different games. We're always searching for what I believe is the missing link, that one lost hero or untold story that will finally make the whole timeline click into place. What if that missing link isn't a person at all? What if we're looking in completely the wrong place? We followed the hero's path from a personal quest to a prophesied destiny, from a burden of responsibility to a desperate quest of redemption. We've seen how this duty has shaped and scarred the kingdom itself, and in all of this, the true connecting thread finally shows itself. The missing link of The Legend of Zelda is not a character, it is the duty itself. This duty, this inescapable mission, born from Demise's curse, is the invisible chain that binds every game, every hero, and every timeline together. It is the one unchangeable constant in a saga that's all about change. The heroes are different people, raised in different times, with their own personalities and reasons for fighting. The kingdom of Hyrule transforms, it drowns, it shatters, and it rebuilds. But the duty, that duty always remains. It's the spiritual DNA that makes every link, Link. Understanding this evolving, ever-present burden is the key to understanding the entire legend. It is the profound and tragic core of the hero's identity, the force that ensures that no matter how much time passes or how different the world becomes, a hero will always rise. Who or what is Link? Is he a single soul that's reincarnated over and over again? In my opinion, absolutely not. Link is his own identity, his own character in every game. The truth is, the spirit of the hero seems to be an essence, a potential for greatness that wakes up inside certain people where the kingdom needs it most. Each Link is his own person, with his own life, his own friends, his own stories, but they are all connected by the shared spiritual inheritance and the crushing weight of the duty that comes with it. So is this duty a blessing or a curse? To me, it's very clearly both. It's a blessing because it guarantees that Hyrule will never be left defenseless. It makes sure that when darkness rises, a light will always rise to meet it. But it's a curse because it traps these souls in an endless war. They aren't actually allowed to have peace. They aren't allowed to just live. They are instruments of a salvation, forged and reforged for a single unending purpose. Maybe the real Legend of Zelda isn't in the victory over Ganon or the rescue of the princess. Maybe the real legend is quieter and much deeper. Maybe it's the story of the spirit that, despite the impossible odds and the eternal nature of its struggle, simply refuses to break time and time and time again. Thank you so much for watching episode 3 of Beyond the Timeline. I really hope you're enjoying this series, and if you are, could you please give this video a thumbs up, put in the comments down below what you thought of this week's video. As some of you may know, I'm pushing towards 1,000 subscribers, and at 1,000 subscribers I'll be releasing a Tears of the Kingdom retrospective, which I believe is my best work yet. Writing is very much through the process. I'm actually in the middle of doing a replay just for footage purposes, and if I'm being honest, I'm very excited about where that project is going. So if you want to see that, please do subscribe to the channel. I'll be back next week with episode 4 of A Hero's Purpose. So until then, have a great week. I've been the Zelda Realm, and I'll see you very soon.